here from Hedgehog's Homestead. Today I thought I'd get some peppers and tomatoes in the ground. Now I'll show you how I do it, and just kind of something I developed over the years of doing this. My tomatoes first. Now my tomatoes, usually I start from seed. But this year, I didn't because we were moving in the... Now, for my tomatoes, I dig a nice deep hole. And because I'm going to bury them probably up until here. Now, I'm going to take off these leaves so they don't rot on the ground. But all these hairs on the tomato will grow new roots, and that's what I want. Now, in my hole, I'm going to put a few special things. I'm going to put some organic plant tone. I'm going to put an egg. Trying to crack it. I put it in there. I put in a couple of Tums. There we go. For the extra calcium. This is brand new soil to me. I don't know what it's like. And that's all I do. Oh, and a couple of chards of wood in the bottom there. Just something I've always done. Works really well. And if I had some, and there we go. We just cut off those leaves. Put those in our compost. And then I bury this nice and deep. I'm going to take this one off too. Okay. Not deep enough. Need to go as deep as I can with my hole and get that in there nice and firmly. I didn't even go as deep as I should, but that's okay. So that's what you do. If I could get it in this deep, my ground doesn't go that deep. I've got cardboard on the bottom of this bed to promote the worms to come along, or to invite the worms to come along and embed my soil. I'm gonna get these nicely watered in at the base of the plant. You don't want to water tomatoes from the top because it promotes blight. And if you're planting a tomato, you won't want also your tomato plant to touch the soil. Now, if you have hard rains like we do here in Tennessee, what I would do, I actually might even just cut off this one because it's too close to the soil for me. I want a nice long stem because if this plant gets soil, it can get blight on it, and we don't want that. So let's get the next one up. And I am going to put a nice trellis up here for these tomato plants in a little while. It's been raining like crazy, so I haven't done that yet. So now let's get the next one in the ground. This is a big boy. It will produce fruit in 78 days. Now that's 78 days from when it's planted in soil outside, okay? Or in your ground in your greenhouse. Not from when you started the seed, just so you know. It's not going to get very big. It likes full sun. Always read these tags. You're going to learn a lot. This is an indeterminate. So that tells me that this big boy can get big and tall. Now if it's a determinant, it's going to get short and squatty. And it's only going to produce so much fruit and then it's done. Now, if you have a nice long season, this thing will grow and produce fruit for a long time for you, as long as it doesn't get ill. So, that's nice to know. We have a nice crack in this one near the top, and hopefully that doesn't give us a problem. Now, I have a shoot coming out the side here. I'm going to let that one go because this stem right here has a crack in it right there. So I'm gonna let that shoot go, and I'll let that shoot in the middle become my major stem, and I'll cut this one off later. So, but here, where there's a shoot in between there, I'm gonna break that off. And then there's a little tiny baby one there. I'm gonna cut that off too. And then I'm gonna cut off these leaves on the bottom just like that one. And that will go in my compost pile. A lot of people say don't put that in your compost pile. I disagree with them. I say compost everything. Okay, again, my egg in the basket, Tom, Plant Zone Organic, just a little handful of that. And then make sure we get a couple pieces of charcoal in there. And then we're just gonna pack that in really good. Make sure none of those leaves are touching the ground. And that's that. Looks like this one's awful close. So I'm taking a little bit off, just so they're not touching the ground. Now we'll put another one over here and another one on this end. And then a couple on the other side, because I'm going to put a fence line down the middle, and they can grow up some on one side and some on the other side. We'll dig it out here and try to stay out of the mud. Okay, nice and deep hole. You can see I only leave a little bit of that on top. It's wilty because I just filled some dirt in that hole. Because it didn't get watered today and it's very hot. Come. And that. Oh. There we go. Oh, we forgot our plant tone. Come to the other side where it's not as muddy and fill that in. Okay, and put my next one. This is Tennessee. We have some clay in the soil. All that rain is making some sunflowers come up in my beds that I started. This is what I call a twofer. You got two plants for one. And when you see that in tomatoes, grab them, because tomatoes can be ripped apart. They are very tough plants. If you want to learn to grow something, start with tomatoes. They'll get your bug going, and they're pretty darn forgiving. So let's see what these are. These are sun sugars, and these are probably going to be pretty big. And 75 days. Okay, same amount as the other stuff. But again, I'm going to cut off those bottom leaves. These are a little shorter. But these, I bet you, will grow way faster than the other ones because these are a cherry tomato, and cherry tomato plants are a great one to start with. You want to earn confidence in planting things. Cherry tomatoes take off. Okay, and we're going to do an egg in that one too. Tums, charcoal, and a little plant tone. I'm just going to dig this down and put it in there as I'm doing it. There we go. I don't have to go very deep with this one. But I do need to cut off a lot of foliage. Now, at this stage, do not be afraid. See these little cute little flowers here? Rip those off. You don't want your plant giving you those flowers too early or giving you tomatoes too early. I know it's fun to see, fun, but then they'll die out earlier. So we don't want to do that. And of course I forgot to put plant tone in there. I'm just going to put some on top of these. Works either way. Okay, and I got one more to plant in here. Charcoal, plant tone, nice and deep, as deep as possible. And there we go. There we go, guys. I'm going to give these a good watering because they're desperate for it. And plant some peppers. I just like to plant those close together. I'm going to plant those close together on the end. And we are good. We'll see you next time here on Hedgehog's Homestead. God bless. And look out for those shorts that I've been putting out with little tips and tricks on gardening. We'll see you next time. Bye.